We were raised to believe that hard work is the cure for everything. It's a story we've heard since we were children, that if we just apply ourselves, if we just grind harder than everyone else, the rewards will naturally follow. But lately, we might have noticed a strange and unsettling paradox. The more of our life we pour into our work, the less we seem to have left in our hands. We find ourselves in a cycle where our effort is at an all-time high, but our financial peace remains out of reach. It is a quiet, heavy realization that perhaps the old compass we've been using isn't pointing toward the freedom we were promised. The painful truth we must face together is that hard work, when detached from an understanding of how money actually flows, can become a cage that keeps us trapped in a cycle of fatigue. We often assume that financial struggle is a result of laziness or a lack of ambition. But if we look at the world around us, we see that some of the hardest working people, those who wake up before the sun and come home long after it sets, are often the ones who struggle the most. This is because there is a silent erosion of our purchasing power happening in the background. Every year, the value of the money we earn through our sweat and tears naturally diminishes. The prices of basic necessities climb steadily higher, while our wages rarely keep pace. If we are only focused on working more hours without changing our strategy, we are effectively becoming poorer every second, even if we are working harder than ever before. We are simply trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. There is also a psychological weight behind our effort that we often overlook, a phenomenon we might call compensatory spending. When we feel burnt out from extreme labor, we subconsciously give ourselves permission to spend as a way to soothe our stress. We buy short-term comforts to make up for the time and energy we've lost. We tell ourselves, we worked so hard this week, we deserve this treat. This creates a shadow that grows alongside our income. As we earn more through overtime or extra shifts, our stress expenses grow to match it. In the end, we are left with the same amount of savings, but with far less energy and peace of mind. We aren't just spending money, we are spending our life force to buy back small fragments of happiness that the work itself took away from us. Furthermore, when we rely solely on selling our time and physical labor, we place a hard ceiling on our own prosperity. Time is the only resource that is strictly limited to 24 hours for everyone. If we don't set aside a portion of that time to learn how to manage our resources or how to make our money work for us, we remain in a position where we must struggle for every dollar for the rest of our lives. Evidence shows that true financial security rarely comes from working the most hours. It comes from the ability to allocate limited resources into places where they can grow faster than our own exhaustion. To change our lives, we must stop thinking only about how much we can do and start thinking about how we can leverage what we have. Another unsettling truth is how often we work ourselves to the bone just to maintain an image of success that we think society expects from us. We might find ourselves paying for a car that is too expensive or a home that is beyond our means, simply because we want our hard work to have visible proof. These are the debts that quietly consume our future freedom. Working hard just to pay the interest on things we don't truly need means we are building someone else's wealth while leaving ourselves with nothing but weariness. We are trading our future liberty for a present-day facade, and the cost of that facade is our very soul. To break out of the cycle of working harder but staying poor, we must pause and inspect the engine of our lives. Hard work is a powerful engine, but financial discipline and management are the steering wheel. If we keep accelerating without a clear direction, we only move toward a breakdown faster. It is a harsh reality to accept, but sometimes the very thing we think is saving us, more work, is actually what's keeping us stuck. We have to learn that earning more is only half the battle. The real victory is in what we keep and how we grow it. We have to be brave enough to admit that the hustle might be taking us further away from the peace we actually desire. We want to encourage us all to look back at ourselves with love and understanding. The fact that we are tired today is not a sign of failure. It is simply a signal that the way we are moving might need to change. Lasting success isn't measured by how much we earn today, but by how much we keep so that we don't have to work this hard forever. Reducing unnecessary burdens and investing in our financial knowledge is the highest form of respect we can show to every drop of sweat we've spent. It is about honoring our labor by making sure it counts for something more than just survival. In the modern world, we are often pressured to believe that if we aren't constantly producing, we aren't valuable. This culture can be toxic because it ignores the biological and mental limits of being human.
When we are constantly exhausted, we make poor decisions. We take shortcuts. We lose the ability to see the bigger picture. By slowing down and focusing on efficiency rather than just volume, we can start to see paths that were invisible to us when we were too busy just trying to survive. We need to realize that rest isn't a reward for our work, it's a requirement for our wisdom. True wealth is not a number, it is time. It is the ability to choose how we spend our day. If we work 60 hours a week but have no control over our schedule and no savings in the bank, we aren't wealthy. We are just high-functioning prisoners of our own bills. The goal is to reach a point where our survival is no longer tied to our immediate labor. This starts with a mindset shift. It starts with realizing that our value as human beings is not defined by our productivity, and that our path to freedom requires a different strategy than just working harder. We need to talk about the invisible costs of overworking as well. When we dedicate all our energy to our jobs, we often neglect our health, our relationships, and our personal growth. These are the real foundations of a wealthy life. If we earn a fortune but lose our health or the people we love in the process, we have made a very poor trade. A holistic approach to financial psychology teaches us that wealth must serve our lives, not the other way around. We work to live, we do not live to work. We must protect our inner capital, our peace, our health, and our joy with the same ferocity that we protect our money. If what we shared today gave you a moment to pause, or perhaps inspired us all to look at our own cycle of exhaustion with a bit more kindness, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and share your thoughts. We promise to read every single one of them. We want to build a space where we can be honest about the struggle and supportive of each other's growth. No matter how steep the path feels right now, we are in this together.